Hello everybody. As the title says, this is DJI Mini 3 Pro on a windy day flight. And I mean it was windy. It's so windy I couldn't get out of this fog here. If I can get out of this fog, we'll go ahead and try to get this flight in. Here she comes. I see it at the end of the tunnel. And there she is. As you can see, well, I don't know if you can see if the props are not making that wind, but it is a very windy day. It's early in the morning, about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, somewhere in there, 9:30 probably. And you can see the grass and everything moving. I'm down at the farm. I'm getting ready to fly northerly, so we'll take her up and we'll just see how she does in the wind here on this flight. So I'm kind of, the wind is kind of blowing in my face a little bit. And then it's switching to my right some. So we'll flip around here, get a little bit of altitude, and see what we can see. See how she handles in the wind. I've been real pleased with the Mini Pro in the wind. Today's flight, I looked at Before You Fly app, and wind gusts were 20 to 25 miles an hour. And right at the limit of what I would consider being able to fly the Mini 3 comfortably, for me anyway. But I took her up and we'll see how she handles here. She usually does pretty good in the winds. I can get her up, like I said, in 20, 25 mile an hour winds, and usually not too much trouble. We'll see what today holds, though. Let's see. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of crops. The farmers have hayed their fields and got them all baled up, and most of the bales are already gone. But I don't see a lot. I don't see any corn. I don't see any soybeans to speak of. I don't see any milo to speak of. So not sure. Maybe this is a winter wheat crop they're putting in here, or possibly an alfalfa crop. Anyway, we're going to take a short flight here and get Thelma Lou's nose into the wind. She likes to get her hair into the wind. She loves to fly in the wind, as long as I don't get crazy with her. So I did an update, and as you can tell, the controller, I think it reset some of the settings on the controller because it is a lot more delicate than it used to be. So I'm going to have to go through there and reset everything to what it was prior to the last update. There's somebody parked down there. The guy's probably doing some scouting for deer, I would imagine. A lot of bow hunting on that property there. I don't see the boy anywhere, so we're going to go post haste, and as you can see, another field with basically nothing in it. Hopefully we'll have a good acorn crop this year. So we're booking up this way, and now we're flying due south. You cross an old gravel road there. And she has the wind at her back now and to her left. We're going to fly back over this gravel road. I'm still messing with this gimbal, saying, geez, this thing is so sensitive. I breathe on it and it changes its tilt. But we're going to hang a Louie here and come back over the field. There's the pond. It's all turned over now. You can't see any water at all. It's just muck. What the temperatures have done temperature and the rainwater just flipped it. A lot of times when it does that, it kills everything in it. So we'll see how it does this year. Anyway, coming to the corner of the field, there used to be a clear cut right through there. And it's basically all overgrown now. Across a high line, and we'll see what's planted in this next field. Again, nothing to speak of. We just had some rain down here at this location, so things should be greening up pretty quick here. But I'm not sure what all the farmers have put in, but they definitely aren't going to be harvesting any soybeans to speak of unless they're going to do them awful late. So we're going to boogie over here. That's a walking trail you see down there underneath the power lines, and there's a railroad track there too. Did catch a train on that track on a later flight that I did. Same day as this one, but it was with the Mini 2, and it'll be posted sometime after this flight gets posted. So now we're headed due south. I was hoping to catch a train or some people on the walking trail, but not a nothing, that's for sure. And I think we're flying in normal mode here, and we're shooting at 4K 30 frames a second. Once again, it was overcast and partly cloudy, so I didn't use any ND filters. 99% of the time I won't, even though I have them. I know a lot of people like getting the motion blur, but I like the sharpness that on a partly overcast day, partly cloudy day like this. I kind of like flying without ND filters on days like today. Oh, there's a car down there. Let's go over here, see what this lake holds. I don't know. I don't think I fly all the way to it this time, but we'll get close. Yeah, I might fly over to it. Hard telling. Now these fields here, they're a little more green. Whatever they've got planted in these fields has come up and done a whole lot better. Yeah, let's see. Can't tell what it is. I'm still thinking it's winter wheat or something like that. Yes, I need to just drive on over there and put an eyeball on it and see what the farmers are growing over in that neck of the woods. We're going to head down to this little lake and probably make a U-turn and head on back. Flying due south now. Like I said, this is a very, very windy day. I wanted to take her up. Almost didn't fly because winds were 20, 25 miles an hour all the time. And it can be challenging sometimes, but the Mini 3 Pro, for such a tiny little drone, handles the wind really well. Now, she does have the extended range or extended plus batteries, whatever you want to call them, in there. So she's got a little more weight to her on this flight, but she handles the wind pretty darn good. She handles it better than my Mini 2 does, and not quite as much gimbal tilt on this Mini 3 in the wind when you get cockeyed to the wind as the Mini 2 does. Boy, the Mini 2 will do funny things to your horizon if you're not flying into the wind or wind at your back. So, I don't see anybody out here fishing. Nice lake, though. Looks like I ought to be able to throw a line in there. Somebody probably has something to say about that, though. So, we're going to hang a Roscoe here and see if we can find our way back home. Yeah, the fields are definitely coming up, but it's been so dry, they're just now getting the rains that they need. So there's the walking trail, and that clear cut is railroad track, so we're going to follow it back. I think. Take a right. There you go. What was I going to say? Oh, I did do a screen recording of this and did it with, since the update, they have fixed the microphone jack on the bottom of the RC Pro, not Pro, the RC controller, and it seems to work fine. I plugged a lapel mini, lapel USB-C mic into it and did this flight, and I have looked at the screen recording, and it does have sound, and it works pretty well. So I don't know if I'm going to post a screen recording of that or not. I like the 4K, you know. The screen recording is nice to get all the telemetry, and I look at it myself, but stuff I post, you know, I do it for the views, so that's why you see the 4K stuff up, not so much the screen recordings. So here we're scooting back, headed north along the walking trail and the railroad track. I was hoping to catch a train, and like I said, nothing on this flight as far as trains, but the flight I did right after this with the Mini 2, we did hear, my son was with me, and we were out there and we heard the train off in the distance, and I was trying to teach him how to fly. So he had the controller, and he was just going back and forth a little bit in front of us and stuff like that. And then I heard the train coming, and I snatched the controller out of his hands and managed to chase the train a little ways, find it and chase it a little way. So I had a little fun with that. So, but it was an Amtrak train, and it was booking, and I was in sport mode, and it was pulling away from me with no problem. So, well, we'll see if I put that up later on, maybe tomorrow. These recordings, these 4K recordings, they take basically all day to get uploaded and to where you can watch it and stuff. So usually I do one a day. Nobody on the walking trail, so we're coming back. And we're going to go along this tree line here on the edge of this field, just for grins. So now we're headed due north now. Usually this field that you see down there and to the left is in soybeans 99% of the time. You know, he's got tall soybeans in it, but not right now. Every once in a while, the farmer will put corn in there or milo, but mostly soybeans. So do not see that this time. So we're going to boogie up here to this next road and hang another right, I think. It's just a beautiful day to fly, even though the wind, like I said, was pretty stout at times, especially at altitude. Not so bad on the ground. 15 miles an hour plus on the ground, but once you get up to altitude, like I said, I checked it before you fly, and it was 20, 25. So she's handling it real good. We're going to follow this edge of this road up here, this gravel road, and hopefully bring her back home for a landing. We'll stay here to the right. There's a car coming. We don't want to be right over him, so we're on the right side of that. It's good. I just love just the gravel, how it cuts through the greenery and stuff like that. It's neat. I really enjoy some of the shapes and designs that Mother Nature and the good Lord has put out there in the woods, especially to see, you know, for us to see. Just fascinates me to no end. So anyway, here we come back over. There's a little bitty bit of sweet corn there, not much. Deer seem to be eating that up pretty good. So we're going to come back in. There we are. And bringing this in and landing it on the mat and had that obstacle avoidance going and the wind was blowing pretty good, and she slid off the mat again. She touched on the right side of the mat and whoop, off she went into the grass. So I don't like doing that, but sometimes on them slick mats like this, that's what you get. So here we are. Disregard that man standing behind that curtain in the field. Quote from The Wizard of Oz. So Thelma Lou did real good today. She flew quite a while and still had plenty of battery left, but the wind was getting stronger by the minute, especially at altitude. So I'm going to bring her back in, back her in where she was, and let her slide off the mat as the obstacle avoidance tries to keep me from landing. So everybody stay safe out there, whatever you do. Fly safe, drive safe, treat each other kind. It doesn't hurt you at all. And the golden rule is still one of the best rules to follow. We'll catch you soon, hopefully with some more content. And try to stay safe. Here we go. Come on. Let's slide off the mat. Boom. There she goes.